A sugar pill shouldn't change biology, yet in controlled settings, people feel less pain, less nausea, less anxiety, and sometimes show measurable shifts in brain and hormone signaling. The placebo effect isn't fake improvement, it's the brain responding to meaning, expectation, and ritual. Tonight we separate hard evidence from hype, and find where placebo ends. First, placebo is not a fake cure. It's a context response, trust, explanation, clinic rituals, and expectations that can change how symptoms are generated and perceived. That's why placebo shows up most strongly in experiences shaped by the nervous system, pain, stress, nausea, fatigue. If you think placebo means nothing happened, you're already lost. A critical split: placebo response versus placebo effect. People can improve naturally, fluctuate, or regress to the mean even without any intervention. The placebo effect is what remains after controlling for those background changes in trials. That's why randomization and blinding exist. Placebo isn't noise, it's a competing biological signal. Expectation is the engine. The brain constantly predicts what will happen next. When it expects relief, it can reduce threat processing and amplify safety signals. That can change pain perception before any drug could even act. In placebo, words aren't decoration, they're a trigger. A confident explanation can start chemistry. A careless warning can start the opposite. Then there's conditioning. If a real treatment repeatedly helps, the body learns the pattern, pill shape, clinic smell, the routine itself. Later, an inert pill can trigger a partial learned response. This doesn't mean imagination replaces medicine, it means learning wires biology. The ritual becomes a switch. That's why branding and setting can matter more than people admit. Pain is placebo's most dramatic territory because pain is not a pure tissue signal, it's a brain interpretation. Changed threat perception and the pain experience can drop, even if the injury remains. Placebo can reduce intensity and distress, but it doesn't rebuild damaged tissue. Here's the rule: placebo changes experience pathways more reliably than structural damage. Now the proof point: placebo analgesia is linked to the brain's own opioid system. In multiple lines of research, blocking opioid receptors with naloxone reduces placebo pain relief, meaning the body's internal pharmacy is involved. That's not philosophy, that's pharmacology. Placebo also recruits reward circuits. Dopamine-linked signaling can shift motivation, movement readiness, and perceived effort. That's one reason expectation can measurably alter symptoms in conditions where brain circuits modulate output. Important: this does not mean the disease is imaginary. It means symptom expression can be tuned by prediction, reward, and stress. Meet placebo's darker twin, nocebo: negative expectations causing real side effects. People can feel more pain, more nausea, more fatigue from an inert pill if they expect harm. Communication style matters. The same facts can be framed in ways that either reduce fear or amplify it. Nocebo is not weakness. It's biology reacting to threat prediction. Where placebo is strongest: symptoms shaped by perception and regulation, pain, mood, sleep, nausea. Where it's weaker: outcomes requiring direct biological destruction or repair, like killing bacteria or shrinking tumors. This boundary is where honest science lives. The placebo effect is powerful, but it is not unlimited. Confusing that line is how myths become dangerous. Here's a turning point: sham-controlled procedure trials. In some conditions, simulated procedures produced symptom improvements comparable to real ones, forcing medicine to admit how much ritual, expectation, and recovery context contribute. A famous example is the placebo-controlled knee arthroscopy study in osteoarthritis. The implication isn't surgery is fake, it's that context can be huge. Then comes the surprise: open-label placebo, people improving even when told, this is a placebo. That challenges the old belief that deception is required. A landmark randomized trial in IBS tested non-deceptive placebo versus no pill control and reported symptom improvement in the placebo group. Results vary by condition, but the concept is real. This is why drug trials are brutal. A medication must beat not only natural improvement and observation effects, but also placebo's biological push. When placebo response is high, weak drugs look useless and borderline drugs fail. Trials don't exist because scientists are paranoid. They exist because humans are not passive machines. Context moves outcomes. Small cues amplify placebo. Clinician confidence, coherent explanations, consistent follow-up, professional setting. Even the form of treatment changes expectation. An injection ritual can feel stronger than a pill ritual, even when nothing active is delivered. The lesson isn't to manipulate patients. It's to stop pretending context is irrelevant to biology. Ethics. Medicine can't be built on lies, but it can maximize therapeutic context without deception, clear empathy, realistic optimism, patient agency, and transparent education. The goal is to reduce threat and increase trust, because those states alter symptoms and adherence. The ethical version of placebo science is not trickery, it's better care design. The danger is language. It's just placebo, as often used to dismiss suffering. That's wrong. Placebo responses are real, and symptoms are real, even when the mechanism is internal. If the brain can generate pain, it can also reduce it, and both are legitimate biology. Respect is not optional, it's part of the mechanism. What science still can't fully predict: who responds strongly, how stable responses are over time, and how expectation, learning, and stress systems interact across conditions. Placebo is not one switch, it's a family of mechanisms. The more we study it, the clearer it becomes. Meaning is a biological input, not a poetic metaphor. Placebo doesn't replace medicine, it explains why medicine works better or worse, depending on the human system receiving it. Belief and context can trigger measurable biology, and nocebo can do the same in the wrong direction. Comment the most surprising evidence point from this episode, and subscribe to World of Mysteries for the next investigation.